Hey, what is up, everyone? It's Rich. All right, welcome to the third of four videos I'm uploading today. I'm going buck wild. Anyway, 100 Bullets, number one, was a recommendation. As I was reading this, it did make me think of Scalped, and I might pick that as one of my own picks for number one issue. But I just finished reading 100 Bullets, number one. It was excellent. It was really good. It's extremely tense when you're reading it. And let's not dilly-dally. Let's get right into this. So, cover is painted by Dave Johnson, who did all the covers, I believe, for the 100 Bullets series, which was how many issues? It was 100 issues. Interior art is by Eduardo Rizzo. It is written by the amazing Brian Azzarello. It is colored by Grant Goliash, but you knew that. No. And the cover actually represents the comic. It's really good. We've got Graves, we've got Dizzy, we've got two cops that we're going to meet, we've got her family, her brother and his friends. I believe it's her brother. The suitcase, the car. That's what a good cover should be. You should be repping the book, not just something random. So a lot of times, though, covers are done in advance, and with that, you know, sometimes they don't sync up. It's more of a generic piece. So this opening panel is fantastic. Obviously Rizzo gets compared to Frank Miller, but I definitely think that he's got his own thing. There's clearly a Frank Miller influence to it, but he has a different sort of flavor to his characters. But anyway, this opening sequence, man, I was immediately just sucked into the moment. I could hear sounds. I could kind of feel the night. I liked the scale of things and the amount of space that existed in this panel. It was really, really good. We've got a silhouette of them on the wall, and it says, "Bang, you're dead." Or what's it feel like to be a ghost, Dizzy? And then it cuts to her saying, "It's a long story." It doesn't cut to, but the next page it will cut to. And she's in a shower. So she's showering, and her story starts here. So she's in a shower. She's showering. She's cleaning up her body as you do with the soap. She dropped the soap. Oh, no. You know what they say about dropping the soap. And in fact, she actually is in prison. So we've got three very, very intimidating young ladies here. And they kind of tell her she better lather up real good. The stink of this place doesn't wash off easy. Why do they say that? Where's Dizzy going? Well, she's about to get paroled. She's been in prison, I believe, for 15 years. Or her sentence was 15 years. It may have been cut short. Anyway, these three lovely ladies are kind of intimidating her, and they're big, much bigger than Dizzy. And this lovely lady says that she wants her to give something to her man when she gets out, and she kisses her. So pretty hot. No, I'm just kidding. They all have like a chola names: Shy Girl, Little Clown, Sad Face kind of thing. You'll see that over and over again in here. So anyway, this is her. This is her young husband and their infant son. But she said that, initially when she was arrested, she was looking forward to coming out and having a party when she would be paroled. Unfortunately, that party's never going to happen because her family's been killed while she was in prison. And she's being let go. She's kind of packing up a box of like her most important belongings. The officer says, "Let's go, Cordova. You're free." And she says, "You got that wrong. I will never be free." Some heavy duty shit. Azzarello is a real good writer. He really kind of got into this headspace and did what I would consider a pretty, like I said, it was very tense reading it. There was a lot of moments where you're like, shit, is there going to be a fight? Is someone going to get hurt? Is someone going to get shot? It's real thriller kind of vibe to it. So anyway, she's on the train heading home. We've got this sort of tough looking guy sitting here, a couple of little spicy silhouettes in the back, and then a young punk couple. Anyway, she kind of looks over at this guy. He claims a gang as he's walking out, 60 tray all day, and like splits. I'm assuming that's not the gang that she's a part of. She doesn't really have like any gang affiliated colors. Could be some reference to her tattoo on her face, but anyway, he lets her know what gang he's a part of. So anyway, this mysterious fellow enters the train and comes over and sits by her, which is a little weird. There's plenty of room in other seats, but she doesn't really do too much to him. But anyway, he sits down. They're kind of like on the ride. It's moving along. Beautiful panels here. Really, really nice stuff. It's just a really, really nice shot. Anyway, she pulls out the picture of her with her husband and child, and he knows their names. He says Hector and Santiago. Too bad about what happened. It's pretty weird. Be like, how do you know? Do I know you? She says. No, but I know you, Isabella. Dizzy. Cordova, 23 years old. So she's been in prison for about 7 years, I'm going to say, give or take. She had her kid, I think, when she was 15. Anyway, so he welcomes her back to the world and says, I'm Agent Graves, and she wants to know if he's a cop. He sort of gives this look, pretty evil. Grant Goliash is a really, really good colorist. He keeps things very simple on this book, but Grant's legit. He's really, really good, and he hand colors all this stuff. Now, I don't know, I think that they do seps, but if you ever see Grant's colors, he like paints them, like hand paints them. They're beautiful, beautiful color guides. Really works of art, to be honest. I'm not just saying that. He's like, they're gorgeous. I would love to own some. Anyway, so he kind of goes over like all of her sort of career criminal thing, and he says you were first arrested when you were 11 years old for shoplifting, which is, you know, kind of typical for some kids. You see something in a store and you lift it. But ironically, I don't know if ironically, but the next part is actually very, very cool. Your second arrest occurred only 7 hours later when you attempted to burn down the store you were caught robbing. So this kid, she was off the rails. Cute. It was a long time ago. What's it to you? Nothing. Anyway, so the next 4 years she spent bouncing in and out of juvenile hall until she got pregnant, and then he basically kind of throws a snarky comment about gang banging and breastfeeding don't seem to mix, do they? So he knows a lot about her. So now there's a crime going on as they're talking about, you know, kind of what happened to her. Not only how did she wind up in prison, but ultimately how her husband and son are shot down. But anyway, she was a passenger in a drive-by shooting. She didn't actually shoot anyone, but an innocent person was caught in the crossfire and killed. Her 4 friends in her car were killed, and 2 girls, 2 away girls fired on the car and killed everyone. So it sounds like it was a bloodbath, and she was the sole survivor of the whole thing. So sounds like maybe 6 gang members, an innocent bystander, and she's left holding the bag for the whole thing. So she went to jail. Her husband and the kid kind of like try to survive without her. He's probably 16 or 17 years old, so he's pretty young, but he's also, I think, a gangbanger, or was. He was a gangbanger. All right, anyway, so overcrowding got her released early. And then he shows her a picture of these 2 guys and asks if they're familiar to her. And she says, no. Who they? Who they? They're the people that killed her family. So you got these 2 guys with a burger and beer. And Graves is claiming that they killed her family. But she says that's not accurate. It was a drive-by shooting. And he goes, yeah, that's right. This was the one driving, and this was the one that was firing. And she says, no, it was the Vice Lords. It was payback for what I'd done. Trust me, Graves says, it was these 2 men, crooked cops, 5-0, creepy face. She's looking at him like, what? This was all so good. I thought this was an excellent first issue. Can't believe this. Well, you will. Inside this attaché case is irrefutable evidence that what I'm telling you is true. On top of that, it's got a gun and 100 rounds of ammunition that are untraceable. All yours. Do with it as you see fit. If you act on this information, you will have carte blanche. Next stop, Ashland, the train announces. So she says, what's that supposed to mean? He says, if you kill these 2 cops and use these bullets, that's the end of the case. Nothing further will happen. You're more than welcome to do it. And once the bullets are retrieved, she's free to go on with her life, basically. She says, this is a joke, right? He says, one more thing. This is for your eyes only, lady. If you show this to anyone, or it somehow gets in another's hands, well, let's just say there will be dun 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 grave repercussions. She said, why? Isn't it obvious, Dizzy? They're the bad guys. So this guy is either beyond the cops, he's a cop that knows that there's bad cops or something. But anyway, so we've got a couple of gangbangers in the car. This is like a cafe with a valet taking keys from someone, and they're smoking weed in the car and talking about watching TV, and some like Jerry Springer was like gangbangers who were dating girls that were actually guys, which will come into play in a split second here. So anyway, but he says that they were hot. They were hot trannies. Anyway, then it cuts to this, and it's the valet coming back out to help this guy park. He's with his wife, apparently, the valet thinks. And then this hooker, who's also a tranny, says, wife, please, this is just our first date. And he stares at her crotch and sees something. He says, hey, sir, your lady's a real handful. And then he's got like a little thing, and he's like, huh? I don't know what you're talking about. Well, you will. Oh, you will. All right, so Dizzy's home now. She's in her room, or maybe a room in her house, and she's looking at the pictures of her friends. She's kind of talking out loud. Just, sort of thinking, nobody gets away with nothing, do they, baby? The man didn't understand when I said said your death was payback. I meant payback from God for her sins. Anyway, then Dizzy is surprised by Lucy, who I guess maybe is her little sister. I'm not 100% sure who Lucy is, but anyway, yeah, it must be, because so this gets a little confusing right here. So the little girl's got kind of wavy hair, but in the shot her hair all got smoothed out. So I was really kind of trying to figure out who's who. But anyway, this is Dizzy here saying where's mama's at, and then the little girl, which it would have helped just to have a couple of wiggly hairs like this, so you would know right away that it's her, because even her clothes, like the long sleeves, you can kind of see it here. Whoops. But anyway, but I had to read this a couple of times to figure out exactly who was who. But anyway, she's out hanging Dizzy. Who were you talking to before? And she says Hector, who's her dead husband. Yeah, she was talking to dead people, Kitty. Yes, I know. Did you have a bad dream? It's okay. I woke my cat up. Mama's right. You crazy. Hector's dead. She says, so it's like praying. I know Hector can hear me. Check. She's kind of checking out all the stuff, looking at the pictures and stuff. And then she says, well, is it the little girl saying this? I guess it is. She's looking into the mirror or the picture frames, and she says, I miss my nephew. And then Dizzy says, me too. And I miss baby Chick and Tia and Sad Eyes. She was fun. She was funny and always nice to me. Those are her friends that were killed. You pray to them too? And she says, sometimes. So she's putting a gun in the back of her pants as she goes outside. But nah, Lucy, not everyone's dead. Or, well, she goes, yeah, I guess you got to talk to dead people when they're all you know. It's a pretty harsh comment from the little kid. But anyway, so she goes out and visits the garage where I'm assuming it's her brother and some of his friends are out flipping cars or working on their own car. But anyway, so she comes out. They didn't know that she was even being let out of prison. Her mom has said nothing to her because her mom really doesn't approve of her lifestyle. It's like, kind of blames her for the death of her grandson and, Dizzy's husband. When they let you out, baby? Just today, I thought you'd know. Nah, Diz, we's in the dark. Anyway, so a car starts to pull up. Check it. Your mama after Hector and the baby. Well, she didn't like your attitude, Yeah, I know. And then they're like, you expecting anybody? No, but that don't mean it ain't coming. And then he's like, y'all ready to go to town, Miss Dizzy? And this guy pulls up, and he's like got a stolen car. Emilio, yo, what's up, sister? Yo, sister, what's up? So, my eyebrow, boy, check you out. What that? It's nothing. This right here, just one of my many. And then she kind of jokes and says, yeah, like, it's one of your many because you treat the city like it's your used parking or car garage, whatever. But anyway, not used is previously owned. Hey, sorry, didn't come to see you. Mom said that I couldn't come visit you. And she's kind of jabs him and says, when did you start listening to her? But anyway, yeah, so they doubted that she would maybe even return home after prison or join a covenant. So it's an allusion to like her behavior in prison that we'll probably find out more about later. I mean, she had a lot of religious stuff in her cell, but that's not that unusual for Catholics anyway. But anyway, so uh she's basically explained like her feelings of like that when her husband and son were killed that it affected her, and the bullets tore her apart too. And then he's like, yeah, but you're lucky you're the one that's alive. Doesn't make me lucky. She says like they lived their lives ignoring death and she had to face it. And then anyway, um she's talking about when she looks at her life, she sees just more of the mistakes than any of the other things. He says, will you act like you killed them? And she says, I did. And he goes, that's bullshit. No, it's not. If I'd have been there. And then he goes, you would have died with them. Rizzo signs it when it's an important beat in the story. So anyway, we move along. They're still talking about this. And she basically says that she doesn't tell them the information that she has, but they basically say it was a drive-by done by that other gang, and she's like, no, it wasn't. And she comes to him face to face, and she says, you sure that's how it went down? He's like, fuck yeah, you are too, right? So that was kind of interesting when he said that. I was curious of what information both of these two characters have. The black silhouettes of the faces is a nice touch, but yeah, a little bit of mystery that kind of goes on with that sort of those two lines right there. Anyway, he goes, your sister, she's messed up. Yeah, she is. Hey, Smack, ring up. Wait, hey, Smack, ring up Rizzo for me, okay? Tell him I got his ride. So Rizzo shows up. Oh, actually, she gets so she's out on the streets now and she's cruising around. A car pulls up and it's the two cops from the photo. Hey, Chica. Yo, Dizzy, I'm talking to you. Welcome back to the hood. She's like kind of shocked. I don't think she knows at this point the second who it is, but he's like, hey, girlfriend, I'm Officer Swirsky. This is my partner, Officer Morgan. Don't be scared. We're the good guys. We got wind of your parole down at the station. Figured we'd say hello. But she's flashing back to the photo that the guy showed him on the train. Now we're going to see them modern day, which would be like 7 years later. And here these two guys are. So hello. Now, what's a Rudy Poe little skeezer like you doing out Jack and Wreck on a school night? Says somebody got their Barrio dictionary for this. All right. Anyway, so then the guy kind of starts like hitting on her in a very creepy way, and says some very inappropriate things. I won't necessarily repeat in the video, but you can read it if you want. I'm not sensitive to that type of stuff, but out of respect to all of you, I'll keep it. Anyway, she starts to go for the gun. This guy is getting all up on her, and he notices that she's going for a gun, and he's like freaking out. He's like, she's packing, you stupid little bitch. You leave your brains back in the joint. And tells her that carrying a piece is a violation of her parole. Anyway, then we get to like a car deal. So this guy shows up with like his thugs, and they're flipping the plates on this Mercedes that they've stolen. He pays the guy with a wad of cash, but the dude comes out with like a suitcase and like puts the money in the suitcase, and they're kind of tell him like, you should be careful showing so much money around like that. And her brother says, don't worry about me. I say, my back's covered. So again, a couple of little things going on that you kind of go like, well, who's covering him there? Anyway, so they call it in, which is surprised me that they called it in, because these guys are kind of crooked cops. I thought they were gonna maybe do something with her on their own and just have it as like, we're the cops, we can do whatever we want to you. But anyway, they get word back from the police that she's allowed to carry a gun. They don't explain why, but he says, I just got off the horn with dispatch. They ran a check. And let her go and give her piece back. And he's like tripping, going like, what are you talking about? How's the gangbanger girl that's just been let out of prison have a free pass to carry a gun? And he's super furious, and he says he's going to find out like what's behind this. And then the final page is her back in her room, I assume at her mom's house, and she's looking at the photo. None of this makes sense, not unless. And then she realizes that the information, the gun, meeting graves, and all this stuff, it is legit. This offer that he's made her is a real thing. And now we've got a pretty nice cliffhanger with her putting the gun in the case, shutting it, and then kind of peeking back in. So I thought this was a great first issue. It was very tense reading it. It kind of felt a little like a Quentin Tarantino movie where every scene you're just like, is something bad gonna happen? You know, because you had the gangbangers in the car. They were talking about that they had a list of like 8 hits that they could do that night. So they had like, it sounded to me like they had options of like what who they could murder. Like it wasn't a specific order that they needed to do it in, but this was excellent. It was really, really good. I had read a bunch of issues of 100 Bullets, but it's so long ago that I really can't even remember what I read, like how much. I have all the trades in my garage and some of the singles. I used to keep both, and it became like just too much. So I ultimately decided that I would keep a few of the comics, and then I just kept all the trades. So luckily, Wildstorm was bought by DC, so I would get them in my comps. So I kept them all because Rizzo's art is great. He really, really is excellent. And again, I don't really think that this stuff looks that much like Frank Miller. I mean, you could definitely see that was probably an influence on him, and he's able to problem solve some of the stuff using maybe things that Frank has done. But overall, I think that Rizzo has his own thing. So, all right, you guys have a great day. I'm going to knock out one more video and then I'm going to get to work. But this has been really fun. Actually, one thing that I'll say about reading as many comics as I had over the last couple of weeks, and I used to do this way more frequently, not for videos, but I mean, I used to, when I would go to the comic book store, I'd pretty much read as many of the books as I could that I bought that day. But I haven't read this many comics in a row in a long time, and it's really fun. It really gets your imagination going, and it's a very different experience than just focusing so much on the art. So it's been cool. So all right, like I said, I've got a video already recorded. I'm gonna watch it back for a second and see. I think I didn't mention it in this video, but I was going to. But I already recorded like a 30-minute video, but I had a video processing, and my fan might be whirring in the background of it. So if that's the case, I may reshoot it. But it's Daredevil #1, written by Kevin Smith and drawn by Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti. So the Marvel Knights #1. So I'm going to do that next either way. But all right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.